Good evening. Increasing use of tasers by police is under scrutiny tonight after reports one had been pointed at a child aged just 11. Tasers were drawn 400 times across the country in 1 year in incidents involving children. Last year, in the West Midlands Police Force area, they were deployed against 46 children and teenagers up to 18. But they were actually fired in just 8 of those cases, the youngest a 14-year-old armed with a hammer. Police say the taser's deterrent value is usually enough, but critics say they're being used too freely, as our special correspondent Peter Wilson reports.
A training exercise, but still frightening. Police officers can confront even school children armed with weapons like knives and hammers. But in the last 4 years, the use of the electronic weapon taser has more than trebled.
When tasers were first introduced, gun crime was soaring. There was a huge public clamour for police officers to be given a non-lethal weapon to protect themselves. These latest figures showing that a 15-year-old and an 82-year-old man in Staffordshire have all been shot using tasers. It poses the question, have the police become too trigger happy?
West Mercia's Chief Constable is carrying out his own review into tasers.
Our officers are the best trained in the world. That's not just me saying it, that's independently assessed. They're selected because they're considered to be the right sort of officer to use this technique, and there's quite a high failure rate, so it's not a given that if someone gets selected for this training they're going to get through. So no, officers are not trigger happy.
I went to meet a man who knows what it's like to be shot by a taser. 3 years ago, police mistook him for another man with the same name as they went to this house in Birmingham to make an arrest.
I walked backwards so they wouldn't fall over me and enter the house here.
Right, so the police fall.
If
Where are you?
I'm here. If he fell backwards, I'm here.
Right.
He's tripped up and now he's falling forwards. Yeah. And I don't want him and his mates falling on top of me, so I've moved out the way.
Okay. How does it actually feel to be tasered with 50,000 volts?
You've lost control of every single muscle in your body. There's a bit of a pain and you just lose all. You just go to jelly. You just can't feel. You just can't control a single muscle in your body. You just fall to the floor like jelly.
Ivan Martin got compensation for being wrongly tasered. He says he posed no threat to the officers. Since their introduction in 2003, the taser has always been controversial, but the police say they're essential for what they now have to face on the streets.
And Peter Wilson is here right now. If these figures, Peter, are right about tasers being produced in front of children aged as young as 11, it is quite alarming, isn't it?
It does sound alarming, and obviously it's not just school children. In one case, it was a pensioner who was tasered as well. But what the police are saying is that in 75% of the cases when the taser is brought out of the holster, they're not actually fired. And last year, say in the West Midlands Police, they dealt with 3 13-year-olds who were threatening to use a knife on people, and the use of the taser, it wasn't fired, but it was enough to act as a deterrent.
Right, and so do you reckon that tasers are here to stay?
I think so, because I can't see the police giving up a weapon at all like this, but clearly training is absolutely vital in their use.
Peter, thank you. Health